So Yvonne, can you describe the first project there, the first semester, please, when we met you first?
First project was called In the Gap. And it was basically designing a house, a terraced house, in a restricted gap between two other buildings. Like,
And what was your concept behind it?
folds was the main concept. So there's a lot of ideas through that. It was the first time we've actually experienced working through concepts. So it was a bit of a change rather than just coming up with a design and that being it.
Towards the end, were you happy with your progress? Were you happy with the project in the end?
Not fully, because it was my first concept idea and I wasn't really used to it. But it's really prepared me for the next project, which is always helpful.
And did you find that we were kind of beneficial, kind of bring you kind of through that stage, or how did you find us in the
really
first
beneficial
stage?
because you kind of need someone who knows what you've been through, and the lecturers know as well. But it's nice having someone that you can actually just go to and talk to without having to chase them down. But you were really beneficial in that.
Good. You went to the clay with us, Silent.
Yeah.
We were pretty sceptic as well of what we wanted to see, obviously. So, what did you enjoy it in the first place, Yvonne?
I did. It wasn't something that I was expecting. Wasn't expecting it at all.
Good.
And especially being from Cork, and he just started roaring in a Cork accent. It was just a bit strange, but yeah, it was really good. It was really good.
Good.
And what did you think of the stage setup? No, it's very minimal.
Minimal, but effective, in what he was doing. Really effective in what he was doing.
Oh, I know you're marked on a point that there was a connection to architecture. Can you elaborate on that, or?
It was basically to do with the space that he was working within himself. We discussed it afterwards, that if he was in Cork Opera House or any other big theatre, that it wouldn't have worked as well, because he was able to communicate with the audience because they were sitting at his level, and it wasn't on a stage, it wasn't staged per se, it was really interactive, and it worked really well.
After that, the same week we did readings. The first one was Figures, Doors and Passages.
I had a bit of trouble reading that one, just getting my head around it, but I think it was just because it was the first reading that I was given as well. It was a bit unexpected.
Oh, well, we did say it was a bit of a tough reading though, so
but it was probably the right time within the project of the.
Yeah, I didn't realise that at the start, but it actually was. Looking back on it now, it has helped coming through it. I didn't think it would, because I questioned it after reading it, going, how is this going to help me? But it actually has in my new designs, funnily enough.
We did experience in architecture as well. That was the second reading.
Yeah, that.
About light in architecture
daylight,
and art.
yeah.
Wow, what did you think of that?
I found that really useful actually, because of daylight being such an important thing. When I'm designing anyway, I consider daylight a lot instead of using artificial light. So that referred to a lot of stuff that I've thought about and wondered about. So it was actually quite good.
I give you that book by Ching, Design Drawn. What did you think of that?
That was very helpful. It was recommended to me by a few lecturers. So I started to gather the Ching books and stuff, but that was one that I hadn't got. But it was really good just for helping with line weights and things like that I felt were lacking in my drawings. And I'd stick to my pencil drawings, my hardline drawings, and it's in them that you need to focus on line weights and.
Analysing Architecture by Simon Unwin, which is
that was a good read. I found that really helpful, because I sometimes get carried away. I find myself just get lost in this world, where I just see fancy things where I want to be. I can imagine myself in this big floating box, but it's just so unrealistic. You kind of have to go back to basic spaces, and that's what it did, and it just kind of drew me back in when I needed to, because that was the stage I was at in my concept, that it was getting a bit too fancy, and it just needed to be drawn back into what was needed in. Yeah, that was basically it. I found that really helpful.
And the file one, we set up for the file one. We told you it was going to be something special, but we felt that it was important to show you that there's different modes and different medias, that architecture is throughout that people maybe don't realise it. We
Yeah.
gave you the film Inception.
Yeah,
Did
I
you-
definitely didn't realise,
Yeah.
like, it looking through it at an architectural point of view. It's just so different to look at things that way. Like, the movie was completely different to me 2 weeks ago before I watched it, and then when I was watching it, I was like, I had a few questions for myself because I knew the film.
Yeah.
I was like, points to watch out for, like points of the movie that would be kind of associated with the architecture, and just yeah.
So we've ruined the movie on you. Really is what you're saying.
No,
You look-
ruin the suspense of it because it is meant to be suspenseful, but
Good. Well,
It was good
look,
apart from
but
that.
it shows you that there is other
Architecture's
modes.
everywhere.
Yeah,
Architecture is actually
everywhere, yeah.
good. A bit of technology with you, Yvonne. I did CAD lessons and Brenda did Photoshop lessons. How did you find these? Did you find them were we useless as teachers, or did you find them actually? Did you find them of some benefit? Like, can you see them in the future being used, or? Do you,
no, you weren't useless at all because it was mostly showing me shortcuts instead of going to a lecture about it and learning the whole process of the programs. And like, instead you were showing me how to do things quick and easily
Yeah.
rather
Yeah.
than going the long way about it. And it's just different because I came straight in from Leaving Cert, so I was hearing everyone talking about, oh, I'll just do this on CAD, I'll do this on CAD, and it just made it sound so easy, but to me it sounded like way more work.
The second project, Yvonne, the one you're currently working on.
Yeah.
Do you want to describe a little bit of that to us?
We're designing a youth hostel down in Dunmore East. So that was complete. When I read the brief on that, it was just a complete jump from what we've been doing. Like in first year, we had a few bigger projects, but this is the biggest thing we've done basically, and it's a bit overwhelming, but I'm into it now. Like it takes a while to get into it, but it's going good. I actually really enjoy it.
Well, we think since we started that you've got the language, you've got a
Yeah.
grasp of it. Like, you know, every time you go into, you're now talking architecture.
Yeah.
Or sometimes you were kind of unsure, but now at the moment you're kind of
Yeah,
building strengths.
the
and-
confidence is building definitely just from talking to you and hearing you talk about like all the stuff like and all the architectural things like
The lingo.
yeah
Yeah.
learned it.
Oh, good, you have learned it. I noticed a huge, as Brendan said, we've noticed a huge change in you. Even in your design approach, how you approach a project from the first project to the second project.
Yeah.
I feel you're a bit more confident. You've a lot of confidence in yourself. If you've come out of kind of being a shy, maybe because you got to know us a bit more.
Yeah.
But you've come out of the shy Yvonne that we went in the first.
Meant, yeah, first.
How did you find these two big fixtures, two fellas coming down into poor little Yvonne?
It was a bit strange when we first heard because we weren't expecting it. We were expecting Vertical Studio obviously.
Yeah.
But it was a bit strange, but didn't really mind it because I don't really get nervous about that kind of stuff. I'd get along with people quite well. Just
So you didn't mind two ugly guys coming down, sitting down beside you every Tuesday morning, did you?
no, not really.
Good.
And what did you think of the program overall?
Yeah, it was really helpful. I thought it was really helpful in just because I didn't realise we'd have to grasp so many new ideas like concepts and not even, obviously you'd have to grasp the more ideas and stuff, but I didn't know you'd have to introduce them as fast as we were expected to, and that really helped with you just being there because you know you've been through the same process, and I know everyone has, but you're kind of just a few years ahead. Just fast forward it a bit.
The big question: would you've gone through it now?
Yeah.
Did you find it beneficial? But more so, would you like to carry it forward maybe for the second semester, or do you think one semester now is
Yeah,
enough,
well-
or? Because for next year maybe, or like I know you can approach us now. Obviously, in
Yeah.
the second semester, we're here for you.
Yeah, definitely. I would go to you again and ask about ideas.
But
Yeah.
did you find it benefit? Like, would you say for next year maybe that they need to do it for 2 semesters? Would you find, or just one semester? One sufficient semester is efficient?
Or is there another subject that you might say, well, we could do some
Yeah, I'd
help
nearly
from
say
fifth year?
studio for semester 1 maybe, and then I found the computer was quite handy just to sit down with you and go through it to get the shortcuts and stuff. So that maybe for semester 2.
It's hard to be honest here now because we're here, but we're going to ask you, what do you think of us?
I thought you were really nice, really easy to approach. I found that like if I had any problems, I could just text you or email you and show you ideas, and you I knew you were going to be honest with me, so that's why I would be able to go to you. You weren't just going to be like, oh yeah, it's good.